Hello and welcome to Brickwork Ratings, yet another podcast series. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Nanaram Devnani, CEO and Managing Director of Maximax ARC Limited. We'll be getting a lot of insights on how the ARC business is doing, how are they helping different entities to restructure their stressed asset share projects. Sir, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much, Riya. Good morning.
Good morning. Sir, we'll start the session with understanding, how the whole ARC has been doing right now. Basically, what is your view on setting up of this bad bank, which is recently announced with the budget and almost about to get done?
Yes. Recently, the Reserve Bank of India has convened a task force, constituted a task force. And one of the representations that we made with regard to this particular setting up of NARC is that this particular NARC is given special dispensation. So we said there has to be a level playing field. Now the understanding here is now the NARC is promoted by a couple of large public sector banks. Yesterday, Canara Bank has also given its consent to give around 12%, to participate in 12% equity. And this, whatever close to around the figure I have 89,000 crores of the public sector banks are expected to be transferred to the new ARC. And now, what will be the modus operandi? Now, this is not on cash basis because NARC doesn't have that kind of cash. Now, assuming that going by the market trend, the average price that is paid if an asset is to be sold on cash is around 30 to 40%. Now, assuming that 90,000 is sold on cash, 100% cash, somebody needs to pump in 27,000 crores, which is a huge amount. And particularly when the government is promoting this, they do not want to invest that kind of money in the very first stage. That was the reason why NARC, the procedure they said is they will be selling only on SR basis. So 15% of the determined price at which this 89,000 crores will be sold. Again, at what price these 89,000 crores will be sold to NARC is a big question. All of us are waiting to see how this price is going to be discovered. In the normal course, when a bank is selling an asset to an ARC, the price is determined based on the realizable value of securities, or if it is a going concern, the enterprise value. So these are the basic things which determine the price. Now, when the price is reserved and the property, the debt is showcased to the ARCs, and if ARCs feel or see some intrinsic value much more than the reserve price, obviously market, they will look at that and they will bid. So the best price is discovered. Now that option is not available because these assets are not being showcased to other ARCs. Now, so for sure, whatever price is determined, it is going to be an accommodative price. Personally, I feel. So this price is only to ensure that the balance sheets of the selling banks are protected. Now, when once these assets are sold to a NARC, now the problem comes. If it were to be sold at a realistic price, then it makes a commercial proposition. They can comfortably resolve because when you want to determine the price or at what price did I buy, I factor couple of things are very, very important. One is what is the value? realizable value of the security, and what is the time factor? How much time is it going to take for me to unwind the litigation part, assuming the borrower is hostile? And by and large, in all the large accounts, you have seen in IBC, despite the timelines, borrowers have litigated, and it went on beyond 370 days. There are cases running up to 2 years now. So with that kind of scenario, with the judiciary swinging in favor of the litigants, it becomes exceedingly difficult because borrower has a lot of rights. He can knock several courts, and that is the process is itself getting delayed. In that process, if you have to factor time, how much are you going to recover? What will be the present discounted value of the future cash flows, which you may recover after 3 years? And then necessarily, all of us have seen when initially, when it was only 5 versus 95, ARCs did not mind whether I'll be able to recover and redeem the SRs to the fullest extent. We were only concerned about protecting my own investment and what kind of return my investment would do. We got a fabulous return because we had hardly invested 5%. And if I'm able to manage to keep that debt in my books for at least 5 years, 5 years I was getting good management fee, 5 into 1.5, 7.5%. So my investment is fully protected. Over and above, I was also getting an upside. But after 15, after it has been increased, the mandate investment from 5% to 15%, now we notice that it is difficult. And no ARC, believe me, no ARC is prepared to write off its investment. It's a poor reflection on the performance of an ARC. Per se, we want to at least redeem, even if I'm not giving an upside. I'm extremely happy if I'm able to fully redeem post recovering my expenses, post recovering my fee and all that. Now, will that happen to NARC? Because the price itself is, I'm telling you, is not in line with the market and not in line with the realizable value of securities. So how are they going to determine the price is a big question. So the success of NARC will purely depend on its the value at which they are going to acquire the assets. Maybe over a period of time, things will evolve and there might be a formula-driven process for determining at what value these assets have to be transferred to NARC. Otherwise, now we said, so whatever be the price, why don't we have requested Reserve Bank, let NARC, after a price is fixed, under Swiss challenge, NARC will give a bid, under Swiss challenge, please throw it open to the market. And if I see a better value, it's good, no? The selling bank will get a better price. What is another important thing is, in addition to one very important thing that should also be considered, you are only trying to sell on SR basis. Now, what if there is an ARC which has a backing of AFI ready to pump in because a lot of interest is created in worldwide in the business of stressed assets in India. Now, with that kind of money available on tap, why don't you also explore the possibility of inviting bids on cash basis? Have a formula between SR if I am getting, and after 5 years or 8 years if I am getting only the principal. And if it is the equivalent of it is I am getting upfront, which is advantageous to the NARC. So these are the options I personally feel the NARC should examine and leave it to the market to decide who is giving the best price. And then obviously if NARC is also able to, it is like any other ARC. And one advantage here is that it is a public sector promoted with a backing in the form of guarantee. Now this guarantee, I don't know for what reason the government is guaranteeing this. So we have also said that same dispensation should also be given to us in case we are acquiring these assets from the banks. So,
Talking about, we are already in the ongoing pandemic. We would like to understand how has been the recovery experience so far for all the ARCs.
right. Now, by and large, one second. I'm sure you would have also gone through this very important paper, study of ARCs in India, published in RBI Bulletin in April 2020. Very important. So here, very, very important information has been given with regard to recovery. Now, ARCs, out of the recovery of ARCs from 2004 and 5 onwards, it started from 18.1. So, out of total recoveries made by all the banks and institutions, ARCs recovery is 18.1. It started and went up to 67.3% in 2016-17, and in 2014-15, 83%. So that means this tells you how effectively the ARCs have been performing in terms of recovery. I am telling this is the percentage in terms of total recovery. Now, what happened in 2017-18 when IBC came, the recovery it slipped to 65.4. 18-19 further slipped to 32.8. 32.8. And 2019-20, it is only 26.7. Now, what I have done, I have taken away the contribution of IBC in recovery, because IBC, all of us know, the major part of it has come from the large ticket ones, very, very large ticket ones. When I have removed that and considered, so this gives me a fair comparison with the past. Now, 2017-18, instead of 32.2, it is 74.48. 2018-19, instead of 32.8, it is 60.4. And 19-20, instead of 30.5, it is 56. Now, based on this information, I am telling you, ARCs have been very effective. Market might read us differently, but we have definitely contributed significantly in terms of recovery. And the expertise that these institutions have, it is not available in the banks, because banks, by and large, they don't have focused team, trained, people keep changing hands. That is the biggest disadvantage. Whereas over a period of time, we have, I don't say mastered, but at least we have become thorough professionals in terms of understanding the dynamics of this business. So significantly, and overall, last year also it has been 25% of the AUM. So minimum 22, it is ranging between 20 to 25. Even during pandemic, it is still the same. Despite the pandemic, a lot of things going astray, ARCs have been able to maintain a recovery of around 25%. 25% of AUM means that means I am recovering a debt in 4 years' time. On an average, that's a good enough. Whereas when the SASF was set up, government thought this would require 20 years' time. I don't know. Why 20 years' time to close the SASF? Even now, another 3,000 to 4,000 crores is left. So going by the earlier experience, SASF will require another 5 to 6 years at least to recover the balance. As compared to that, I personally feel ARCs have really justified their existence.
I was trying to understand, since you mentioned about, your forte is also MSME now. What segment has seen more stress, and are coming for restructuring? Is it the real estate developers, builders portfolio?
Yes.
Is it MSMEs particularly?
MSMEs, invariably MSMEs, no exception here. By and large, every account has become a victim of this pandemic. Now, all the MSME accounts, we have been very liberal in considering their request. In fact, we gave them leeway, saying that you decide when you want to pay. So in certain cases, we have even given them a complete holiday for payment of interest also, and also principal. So that is a kind of breather that is required to be given, and we understand, because ultimately this might extend our recovery by another 1 year or 2 years. But as long as we are able to keep up the unit alive, I thought that is the first priority for us rather than recovery. So, and in addition to that, infrastructure has suffered severely. Entire infrastructure, you see a lot of roads and buildings. Roads particularly, they are all coming for sale. Power has suffered severely. Real estate, the worst victim, because real estate, you have the small players also here. That is a problem. But hospitality, I don't have to tell you, the hotel industry, like airlines, hospitality has also suffered severely. And transport is another, because transport, small people are involved. They have only one lorry, and no bookings, so they have also undergone. So there are certain, all of us invariably, one should accept that COVID doesn't spare anybody, has not spared anyone. So this is a cooling period. All of us must meditate and wait for the best days to come. So we understand, and we'll sail with the difficulties, no issue.
What changes do you expect in the business model of ARCs going forward? And with RBI forming this committee to review the working of ARCs,
yes,
what are your expectations there?
Yeah. We have recently, we have submitted a wonderful presentation to Reserve Bank. One of the things that we asked is relaxation with respect to mandatory contribution of 15% by ARCs to 2.5 in respect of cases where the entire sale is happening on cash basis. So RBI also, the task force was also convinced, true. If it is on SR basis and the bank is staying invested in that particular acquisition, then it makes it is prudent to ask for a skin in the game. But where you are bringing money from an outsider and the entire amount is paid to the bank like a qualified buyer, there's no justification. So I think this will happen. This is going to be, so I'll be able to leverage more on my available liquidity, my net worth or whatever. And then most important is there is a stalemate in sale of NPS by banks to ARCs on SR basis or on cash basis for that matter. On SR basis, it is not happening like we saw it touched the peak in 2014-15. Because of the recent guideline that even after sale, banks should continue, if the selling bank is holding at least 10% investment in the SRs, it should continue to treat that particular sold debt as though left in the books of the bank and continue to make provisions. This is a disincentive and no justification. Any sale is the sale process itself says that it is without recourse. So why this sale should not terminate and why the bank should be forced to make a provision? And anyway, the provision is subject to the NAV of the SRs. So it's a dual provisioning. You're penalizing the bank by asking them to make a further provision. So if there's a downgrading of SR, obviously bank has to make a provision. In addition to that, they have to make a normal provision. So this, we thought we have convinced the task force. I think Reserve Bank will re-examine. This will help banks in resorting to sale of NPS to ARCs. So we'll have a lot of NPS in hand for resolution. So this is another, it's going to be Philip. Then fund support. Now, in the absence of any guideline, banks are a little hesitant to fund ARCs. Majority of us, out of the total resources available with the banks, only 10% is coming in the form of a line of credit. So that is the reason why banks are hesitant to finance us. So I think we have requested RBI to give a clarity. For sure, I think we'll have definite guidelines for this. Then a listing of SRs. This is another very important thing. SEBI has approved, but now off late we find like a couple of banks like IOB have started selling their own SRs. They have put in the market. Now that means we are heading towards trading of security assets. If that's going to happen, there will be more liquidity, and investors will have plenty of opportunities to get into this line. Then formation of NAS we discussed. Permissible activities. We have also asked the task force. ARCs are allowed. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code has permitted ARCs to act as resolution applicants. But Reserve Bank, the regulator, has the reservations on allowing ARCs to act as resolution applicants. So in the light of this, we have requested Reserve Bank to re-examine and give us guidelines to allow ARCs to act as resolution applicants. If that is done, I think we'll have a significant role in resolving cases through IBC. Now, these are the issues that have to be addressed now. All I thought was one important requirement, which is a great fillip, not only to ARCs, but all the security authorities, is that there has to be an accountability for decisions taken by the DRTs. And it has to be first in, first out. I wait 3 years, 4 years, but suddenly one account comes. In 3 months' time, it is disposed of. So there has to be accountability for every decision taken by a DRT, and that's going to address all the issues. And liquidation will definitely happen. And despite the timelines given to DRTs, they are not adhering to that. If that can be done, I think majority of the accounts which are not required to be touched, which are not required to be routed through IBC, they will get resolved. Before that, I forgot to mention one very important thing that we have asked. A special dispensation is with regard to funding of OTS area. OTS. Borrower does an OTS with a bank and he doesn't have money. He is approaching an ARC. Please acquire this debt for me and restructure this. And I am ready to pay like this. And the bank is not willing to assign such debts to an ARC in the absence of specific guidelines. Now, we said bank anyway, when it is doing an OTS, the OTS is done subject to RBI norms and with the approval of the competent authorities. So it doesn't matter who pays the money, whether it's the borrower or an ARC. So this has been conveyed properly to the task force. If this is coming, this is a great fillip to ARCs.
Looks like ARCs have already geared up to, see how the pandemic has been moving, and even if the third wave comes in, they are well prepared in advance to make sure that the business is not suffering.
Yes.
This brings me, before letting you go, to one last question, which is on a lighter note. Sir, what is Maximus ARC's plan for fundraising plans? How are they managing their capital for this FY 2020?
We have a lot of people to invest in our business. And we have also partnered with an AIFI based out of Singapore. So money, I don't think per se should be a problem. There's a lot of money. People are ready to invest because the kind of returns that ARCs are posting, particularly in respect of hostile cases. Let me share with you, in respect of accounts which are put on revival, the return is nominal. But in respect of cases where the borrower turns hostile and ultimately recovery has to happen only by sale of properties, fortunately, thanks to real estate booming, but for the pandemic period, there's a fancy return. So this is very attractive for the foreign investors. So we have people, not only me, majority of the ARCs, they have identified good AIFIs who are ready to partner. If only HNS are allowed, we don't even have to look at foreign fund. We have domestic funds available for partnering with our business. So maybe I think we are expecting to increase our book by at least another 3 to 500 crores, and targeting big ticket advances. And if the debts, we do cherry picking area, and that is coming very handy. And we are known for redemption of SRs within the average period of 3 years. None of our assets have crossed 3 years. So the performance is another important criteria that a seller bank should also examine. If I'm giving the same price with my peer, you should also look at who is good enough to redeem my investment faster, and who has the track record of posting an upside. So these are, unfortunately, these are not factored in bidding. Bidding X, Y are all same. So the performance doesn't play. This is also, I have been repeatedly telling that also give a weightage to delivery. Who is able to effectively deliver is most important. I take 3 years to deliver, and somebody takes 5 years to deliver. So who should be chosen? So that is not factored. So ultimately, I think only the strongest or the fittest will survive. Now, a couple of ARCs which are not doing well, RBI also is reviewing the performance of ARCs minutely, and I think they will put some checks and balances to make them also effective.
Definitely, sir. So this was a very great session with a loads of insights. Hope to catch you in person as well, and or probably if not, we'll have another session.
I don't know, Ria, whether I have really been able to do justice to this short meeting, but whatever has come to me from what of my experience extempore I shared with you. Okay.
So you got fairly rich experience, and you have fairly contributed as well. We look forward to have loads of other insights also from you in the upcoming sessions. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot to Mr. Brickwork and all, and to your entire team. Thank you, madam.